In the heart of Oloran village, where the sun always seemed to smile down on the red clay roads, lived a woman named Mama F. She was known far and wide, not because she was rich or powerful, but because of her laughter. It was the kind of laughter that could melt the hardest heart, the kind that rang through the streets like a sweet melody. People said that even the birds paused to listen when Mama F laughed. But behind that laughter was a woman who carried burdens too heavy for words. Life had not been kind to Mama F. Her husband had passed away years ago, leaving her with 3 young children and a small roadside stall where she sold roasted plantains and groundnuts. She worked from sunrise to sunset, yet no matter how much she toiled, it was never enough. The money she earned barely put food on the table, and worse, it was never enough to pay rent. Mama F rented a small one-room house with a leaking roof. When it rained, she and her children had to huddle in one dry corner, covering themselves with old cloths. But the biggest problem was her landlord, Baba Agba, a man whose heart was as hard as the stones used to build the village well. Baba Agba had no patience for tenants who delayed their rent. If you owed him for even a day, he would stand in front of your house, shouting so the whole village would hear. He had embarrassed many people out of their homes, throwing their belongings into the streets without a second thought. Mama F had managed to survive in his house for years, paying her rent bit by bit, sometimes begging him for more time. But this time was different. She was 3 months behind on rent, and Baba Agba had run out of patience. One morning, just as Mama F was setting up her small stall, Baba Agba arrived. His large belly wobbled as he walked, his face set in a deep frown. "Mama F," he bellowed, drawing the attention of everyone in the marketplace. "Where is my rent?" 3 months. 3 whole months you have stayed in my house without paying. Do you think my house is a charity? Mama F wiped her hands on her wrapper and lowered her gaze. "Baba Agba, please. Give me just 1 more week. Business has been slow, but I will pay you. I swear it." Baba Agba scoffed. "I have heard that story too many times. If I do not see my money in 3 days, you and your children will sleep outside. I will throw your things into the street. Let us see if your laughter will save you then." The villagers murmured amongst themselves. Everyone loved Mama F, but no one dared to speak against Baba Agba. He was a wealthy man, and his power reached far beyond his house. Tears welled up in Mama F's eyes, but she refused to cry. Instead, she did what she always did, she laughed. It wasn't a laugh of happiness but of resilience. She had learned that if she laughed, people would not see her pain. That night, after putting her children to sleep, she sat outside, staring at the moon. "What will I do?" she whispered. "How will I find the money?" As if in answer, a shadow moved in the darkness. A stranger stepped forward, his face hidden beneath a hood. "Mama F," he said in a voice as smooth as palm oil, "I have heard your troubles, and I have a solution." Mama F stiffened. "Who are you? And how do you know my name?" The stranger chuckled. "I know many things. And I know that your laughter is special. I am willing to buy it from you." Mama F frowned. "Buy my laughter? What kind of joke is that?" "No joke, Mama F. I will pay you enough money to cover your rent and more. But in return, you will never laugh again." A deep silence filled the air. The idea was ridiculous, who sells their laughter? But then she thought about her children. She thought about sleeping on the cold streets. What was laughter compared to a roof over their heads? She took a deep breath. "How much will you pay?" The stranger took a step closer, his face still hidden in the shadows. "I will give you enough money to pay your rent for a whole year," he said. "You will never have to beg Baba Agba again." You will have enough to buy food, clothes for your children, and even start a bigger business. Mama F's heart pounded. A whole year. That was more money than she had ever seen in her life. But what he was asking for in return, it made no sense. How could someone take away her laughter? How will you take it? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The stranger smiled. I have my ways. But once I take it, you will never laugh again. Not even a chuckle, not even a small giggle. Your laughter will be mine. Mama F hesitated. Why my laughter? What will you do with it? The stranger's smile widened. That is not your concern. All you need to know is that in return, your life will change forever. No more suffering. No more fear of being thrown out onto the streets. Mama F's mind spun. She thought of her children, of how they looked up at her with hungry eyes when she had nothing to feed them. She thought of the rain dripping through their broken roof, of the shame she felt when she had to beg for more time to pay her rent. Could she really trade her laughter for a better life? If I say yes, what happens next? She asked. The stranger pulled out a small, glowing bottle from his pocket. You laugh into this bottle, and once it is sealed, your laughter will be mine forever. In exchange, you will receive a bag of gold. Enough to change everything. Mama F took a deep breath. Then, slowly, she nodded. I will do it. The stranger placed the bottle before her. Laugh, Mama F. Laugh like you never have before. Make it your loudest, most beautiful laughter. Fill this bottle, and your suffering will be over. She took one last look at the sky, at the stars twinkling above her. Then she let out a laugh. It was full and deep, echoing through the night. It was a laugh that carried years of joy, pain, and resilience. The bottle glowed brighter and brighter, and as the last bit of laughter left her lips, the stranger sealed the bottle shut. Instantly, Mama F felt a strange emptiness inside her. She tried to smile, to let out even the smallest chuckle, but nothing came. The laughter was gone. The stranger handed her a heavy bag. She opened it and gasped. Gold coins, shining in the moonlight. Enough to change her life forever. It is done, the stranger said. Your laughter is now mine. Use your riches wisely, Mama F. And with that, he vanished into the night. Mama F clutched the bag to her chest. She had done it. She had saved her family. But as she walked back inside, a strange feeling settled in her heart. A feeling that something was very, very wrong. At first, Mama F thought she had made the best decision of her life. She paid Baba Tond his rent in full, bought new clothes for her children, and even expanded her akara business. But something was missing. Her laughter. She could no longer chuckle at her children's jokes or giggle at the playful banter of the market women. When people tried to make her laugh, she could only smile, a hollow and empty expression. The warmth she once felt in her heart was gone. Then, the real troubles began. Without her laughter, something in the air shifted. People no longer felt drawn to her. Customers who once lined up for her akara now passed by without stopping. Friends who loved her jokes now found her presence dull and uninteresting. But the worst part was Baba Tond. Before, her laughter had irritated him so much that he avoided staying too long whenever he came to collect rent. Now, without it, he lingered. He sat outside her house for hours, watching her with a strange glint in his eye. One evening, he cornered her. Mama F, he said, his voice unusually smooth, you are different these days. More obedient. I like it. She stiffened. I have paid my rent. What more do you want? He chuckled, stepping closer. A woman like you should not live alone. Maybe it's time you had a man to take care of you. Fear gripped Mama F's heart. Before, she would have laughed loudly, made a sharp joke to send him away. Now, she had no weapon. No laughter to mask her fear. "Leave me alone, Boba turned," she said, voice trembling. He only smiled. "We'll see about that." The night air felt heavier than before. Mama F realized, too late, that she had sold more than just her laughter. She had sold her power. Regret filled Mama F's heart. She realized that her laughter had been more than just joy, it had been her strength. She decided to find Mr. Georgia and reclaim what she had lost. Her journey took her through forests, rivers, and strange lands. Along the way, she met a wise old woman who warned her, "Once laughter is sold, it is hard to take back. But if you prove its worth, you may have a chance." Mama F continued her search, facing trials that tested her will. She had to help a weeping child, outsmart a trickster spirit, and cross a river of whispers. Each challenge reminded her of the power her laughter once held. Finally, she reached a great hall where Mr. Georgia stored all the laughter he had taken. But would he give hers back? She had to prove that her laughter was not just for herself, but for everyone who depended on it. Mr. Georgia stood before his collection of captured laughter, observing Mama F with a knowing smile. "You have traveled far, Mama F," he said. "But laughter, once sold, is not easily returned. What will you give me in exchange?" Mama F was desperate. "Please, Mr. Georgia, I made a mistake. My laughter was not just mine, it gave joy to my village, protected me from my landlord, and made my life meaningful. I will do anything to get it back." Mr. Georgia pondered. "If you truly understand its worth, then you must prove it. You must make me laugh, a laugh so powerful that it can shake the walls of this hall. Only then will I return what is yours." Mama F hesitated. How could she make someone laugh without her own laughter? But she remembered all the funny things she had seen in life, the way children played, the way old men told jokes, the clumsy way Bobaton always tried to act important. Slowly, she began to act out a story, using gestures, expressions, and exaggerated movements. At first, Mr. Georgia watched in silence. But then, his lips curled. A small chuckle escaped him. Then another. And suddenly, he burst into deep, uncontrollable laughter that echoed through the hall. With a wave of his hand, a glowing orb floated toward Mama F. The moment it touched her, she felt warmth rush back into her body. She let out a laugh, rich, deep, and full of joy. She had reclaimed her laughter. Back in the village, everything changed. Her stall was filled with customers again. Her friends welcomed her with open arms. Even Baba turned, upon hearing her laughter, became uneasy and never threatened her again. She learned a valuable lesson: some things are priceless, and once lost, they are not easily regained. And so, she never took her laughter for granted again. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more stories like this.